In the opening scene of Alex and Emma, a man, Alex, is seen typing on a laptop. He is a writer. All of a sudden, he hears noises and peeps through the window. He runs out the door and looking down the stairs, he sees two men whom he recognizes. All of a sudden, he starts running around his house looking for where to hide. He locks his door and finally hides in his wardrobe. A male voice calls for him from the other side of his door, but he doesn't respond. The men push through the door, and it is finally clear why he is frantic. They are Mafia. They search for him and move straight to the wardrobe. The second man opens the wardrobe and sees him. He lies that he is just looking for a sweater. They drag him out straight to the window and threaten to throw him down. He apologizes as always and assures them that he is almost finished with the novel. He promises to pay them as soon as he is done writing. They drag him inside and ask him to show them, but he can't, making him reveal that he lied about it. He hasn't started because he has writer's block. One of the guys gets angry and burns his laptop. The other drags him back to the window, and they both threaten to throw him down again. He begs and promises to increase their money to $100,000, and they want him to provide it in 30 days, or else they will murder him. Later, Alex is seen with an old man asking him if he can give him more money for the manuscript he is writing for him. The man gave him an advance payment of $75,000, but unfortunately he gambled with the money on dogs. He has not been able to write because of a heartbreak that is giving him writer's block. Now he is in a terrible fix, because if he does not provide the novel for the Mafia men, they will return. Not bothered by his predicament, the man tells him to get to work, as that will even make his work faster. He even believes his love affair gone bad will propel him to write a bestseller. Not until then will he pay him the balance of $125,000. In the next scene, a lady alights from a bus in front of a building. She walks to the front of a house and checks a paper she is holding, then walks inside the house. She knocks on a door, which happens to be Alex's door. Upon seeing his apartment, she believes she is in the wrong place, because she thinks she is looking for a big law firm. He breaks her heart by telling her that he is exactly who she is looking for. She introduces herself as Emma Dinsmore, then he also introduces himself. He wants her to come in, but she bluntly tells him she won't, because first, it doesn't look like a law office, and second, it doesn't even look like a good place to live. Seeing how things are turning out, he lies that their office is being renovated. But the way she stares at him shows she is not fooled, so he falls flat on the ground. She calls him several times and even threatens to leave, but on second thought realizes she can't leave him there. So she drags him to his room and calls out to Alex again. This time, he responds on the third call. He stands up and explains that that's the second time it will be happening to him. However, as he tries to explain, she turns her back and starts leaving. He tries to convince her to stay, but she does not answer, because he lied to her company. She accuses him of wanting her body. He finally reveals that he only wants help to complete his novel. She demands $15 at the end of the day. But he doesn't agree, because he doesn't have any money. She moves it to the end of the week, which he didn't agree to, also because he doesn't have the money. He urgently needs to complete the book, and until then, she cannot be paid. She asks him what will happen if he doesn't complete the book, and says he will be murdered. At that moment, she walks out of his house. Alex sits in his sitting room, waiting for a miracle to happen, when he suddenly hears a knock on his door. It's Miss Emma, and she forgot her scarf. He picks her scarf up, opens the door, and hands it over to her. She stands at the door and watches him go to his seat without uttering a word. After some moments, she walks inside his house and picks up a book from his table. She checks on the title, and also the author, and she sees his picture on the back of the book. She asks what the book is about, then becomes curious and wants to know how the book ends, but he tells her to read from the beginning. But weirdly, the only way she is interested in reading a book is by starting at the end. She asks him what his other book is about, and he reveals it's the powerlessness of love, but he doesn't know how the book ends. He believes the characters will tell him how it ends. Finally, she offers to help him. Later in the night, they start writing their novel, and after some lines, Alex goes blank. He can't think of what to write. Emma tries to give him an idea of what to write, but he seems not to be serious. She packs her bag and is ready to go, but Alex stops her. She dips her hand inside her bag and brings out pepper spray and a shotgun, asking him to pick the one he prefers. Immediately, he becomes serious and ideas start flowing in. Having miraculously solved his writer's block, she goes back to sitting. Emma starts typing again, and the idea seems wonderful as he describes a character similar to himself. Emma stands up and tries to leave, but he stops her and continues to tell her his story, which she continues typing. When Alex is done describing his main character the way he wants it in the story, Emma is disappointed, because she expects a different thing from the character analysis. However, Alex reminds her that he is the writer, while she is just typing. So it's better they keep it that way, while she does her job. Then we get to see the story play out as Adam heads out on a train to the family that hired him as an English tutor for their children. Once again, Emma has issues with the way the story goes. She complains about it again, and he reminds her that he is still the author, and will write the story however he wants. The fictional Adam is on his way to a small fictional island to tutor an 8-year-old boy and 6-year-old girl, who are the children of the divorcee, Polina de la Croxis. Adam is on the train with a prospective suitor, who claims Polina is in a financial crisis, but he is about to help her out. He intends to ask her to marry him by the summer's end. As the story continues, Alex explains that immediately after Adam sees Polina, when she comes to pick him up at the shore, he falls in love with her. Emma argues that it is shallow of him to just see her like that and fall in love, but Alex continues the story anyway. In the story, Adam walks up to her and they introduce themselves. She further introduces the rest of the people standing with her, and also her children. She orders her driver Claude to help him carry his suitcase. He tries to resist, but Claude forcefully takes the bag from him. While following them, he stumbles and falls. This part of the story is funny to Emma, and she laughs hard. Alex thinks she is enjoying the story and laughs too, until she tells him bluntly that the character is a fool, but Alex disagrees with her. He explains that the character is smitten by love, but Emma explains that she didn't see that in the story. With that, Alex proposes they call it a night. So far, she has written 8 pages out of the needed 300 pages. The next day, Alex continues his novel narration. He speaks of how charming Polina's perfume is, which makes Adam fall in love more. Then Alex introduces Ilva in the novel, as another character. Polina introduces Ilva to Adam, her au pair, and Ilva takes Adam to his room. When they get to the room, Adam asks Ilva about Polina. She reveals that Polina does not love Sean, and she just wants to marry him because of his money so she can be free of debts. This makes Adam conclude that if Polina had money, she wouldn't settle for Sean. Back to the play. Emma realizes that the plot of the story is the fact that both Adam and Sean love Polina, but they both have obstacles. However, Alex is not in the mood for chit-chat, because if the novel is not finished in 28 days, the Mafia will be back. Alex continues his narration. Adam continues his job, teaching Polina's children English, but he begins to lack concentration because of Polina. Emma comes in on the 3rd day, and Alex continues narrating the story while she continues her typing job. Adam gets a glimpse of Polina's ankle and walks back to his room for prayers. Polina and her family sit at the beach with Adam, and he keeps wondering whether Polina would ever love someone like him. But at the same time, nothing is impossible. Ilva offers Adam food, but he rejects it. Polina does the same, and he accepts with a smile. It's a glorious day as Adam teaches Polina's children English while on the field. Their mother walks in and tells them to go in and wash their dirty hands, and in walks a certain lady, Elsa, whom Alex calls the au pair. Emma pauses her typing, because he already introduced Ilva as the au pair earlier. But Alex explains that he is confused about who he wants the character to be, especially because her Swedish accent is terrible. Now, he doesn't know who will be fit for the role of au pair, and it will be better if the character is German, and not Swiss. Back to the story, Elsa takes the children along while Polina speaks to Mr. Adam. She reveals her family's financial crisis, and how she needs to be out of it. She even calls Adam his first name, which he loves. All Polina wants is for her children to be happy, and she just wants a simple life. Adam promises to make her children happy. Suddenly, she asks if he can take out Sean for her, because she owes him a lot of money. The only way out of the debt, except if she marries Sean, is for him to lose his life. A shocked Adam tells her that he is only a tutor, and not a murderer. Polina laughs about it and claims that she is only joking. Now, Adam has realized that wealth is the only thing standing between him and his love. Emma complains about characters like Adam, having to be driven crazy and loved by women like Polina, which leaves them in nothing but agony, all the while having people like Elsa do their laundry for them. As for Emma, she likes people like Ilva or Elsa, who can do their laundry and not be dependent on men. Back to the script, Adam knocks at Elsa's door. Emma thinks Alex is creating a triangle among Polina, Adam, and Elsa, but Alex defends himself by saying Elsa is just someone that he is comfortable talking to. Adam asks Elsa if she knows of any casinos around, and she describes one for him. At the end of their conversation, Adam tells her that he has fallen in love, and once he has money, he will claim Polina. Elsa is shocked, as she thinks the whole talk of destiny is about her, and she spills hot water on Adam's crotch. She immediately apologizes for her actions, blowing air on his trousers. However, Emma feels there is no need for Elsa to apologize, because Adam led her on, making her think he is into her instead. While Alex goes for his food, he continues his narration. Adam leaves the disappointed Elsa, and off he goes to the casino. However, the atmosphere is not one that he is used to, because of the class of people around him. He sees more money than he has ever seen in his life. So he places a bet, but loses his money. His motive for going to the casino is to double his money so that he can marry Polina, but since that doesn't happen, He has to find another route to Polina's heart. At dinner time, Adam argues with Polina and her family about the concept of money for happiness. He argues that the only thing needed for love is happiness, which riches cannot give. This makes Elsa, who is serving, whisper to Adam that it seems he has found his way to the casino after all. Sean protests to his idea, but Polina convinces him that Sean is just jealous that his idea is true. Later, Polina gets a message that her grandmother has passed on, and she becomes sad. Both Sean and Alex try to comfort her by touching her hand, but they do it at the same time, realize it, and remove their hands. Adam sees this as a chance to end poverty and get with Polina. Back at Adam's apartment, Emma confesses she likes the story. Alex didn't believe it because of how she has been arguing with him about his opinion, but she assures him with a smile that the story is nice. Standing up to take her leave, she further reveals that he is not who she thinks he is, which surprises him. Alex also compliments her. They agree to start very early the next day. However, even as she gets to the bus terminal in the rain, she keeps staring and smiling at Alex through the window of his house while the bus waits for her. Not looking, she trips and falls onto the wet floor beside the bus on the road. The content of her bag spills on the floor, and as the script enters the puddle of water, she screams. Emma resumes very early the next morning, as suggested by Alex, carrying 2 bags of groceries in her hands. He is surprised to see her with groceries, but she tells him to go take his bath while she cooks for them. Alex disagrees and concludes that they should continue with their typing due to lack of time. He asks Emma for the script she has written before, and when she shows them, it doesn't look like the script he narrated. He realizes that the story has changed from when Adam went to the casino. Emma starts to cry and explains what happened to the script and why she changed the story. She explains how she fell into the water. Because of the tears, Alex is moved and comforts her, since this is not the first time he has lost scripts. This means he must start all over again. He continues narrating the story. Polina continues to attend to family matters, while Adam tries to keep his feelings for Polina to himself. However, Elsa and Adam's relationship continues to grow, and Elsa develops feelings for him. Adam keeps feeding her the wonderful and fun-filled life he would like to have with Polina. With all this going on with Adam, Sean, who is also in love with Polina, isn't relenting, as he is ready to prove his love to her. Adam knows this, and also plans to make his move as fast as possible. Emma and Alex take a break from the story. She joins him in eating pizza. Realizing that he does not know anything about her, he begins to ask personal questions. She refuses to answer at first, but opens up about her life later, and also about her love life. She has a boyfriend, and they plan on getting married next June. Her whole story gives him the idea of how to conclude the story for the day. Back to the story. Adam can't wait again, as there is no time to waste anymore. He is ready to show Polina that he is in love with her. When Polina comes to his door and he opens it, she plants a kiss on his lips, and they both find their way to his bed and start making out. At Alex's apartment, Emma refuses to believe the story. She claims Polina is still grieving, and is not supposed to do such a thing with Adam. But Alex's theory is that Polina is looking for comfort. But since it doesn't make sense to Emma, he decides to change the story. Instead of making out straight away, Adam apologizes for the demise of her grandmother, and they proceed to make out. Emma complains again about the story, but this time Alex shuts her up, since it's his story, and he can write it any way he likes. They both argue about Polina and Adam, and their opinion about the characters. Not concluding, they continue their story. Adam and Polina lust after themselves, and make out for a very long time. Emma loves and agrees with that part of the story, so she asks Alex what will happen next, since both characters have gotten what they want. Alex cannot answer, so he lies that he wants to vomit. Emma understands that he is pretending, because he has no idea. Carrying her bag, she proceeds to leave. Although she tells him to call her if his condition is irredeemable and may be fatal, so she doesn't waste a bus fare. Two can play at this game. Alex watches her as she leaves in disbelief. In the next scene, Emma is back in Alex's apartment. He agrees that she is right, and he shouldn't have concluded the whole story like that. He confesses he doesn't have any idea about what to write, and suggests that she go for a walk and take a look at nature. Maybe inspiration will come. While outside the apartment, they stop at a restaurant to eat. Alex begins to explain how his parents divorced, which pushed him into writing as an escape from grief. He has not been married before, but somehow he feels the right woman is outside waiting for him, and no matter what, he will catch the good one. With so much faith in his heart, the two begin walking around, sightseeing, and enjoying nature. They have a great time, while the bond between them grows. At the end of the day, Alex sees Emma off to her house. They begin to stare romantically at themselves, and try to kiss, but they are stopped by Alex's exclamation, as an idea comes to him. He realizes he shouldn't have ended the story the way he did, and the grandmother should have been alive. He hugs her for helping him, and confesses that he loves her. He runs to his house, telling Emma to be early the next day. In the story, Polina's grandmother is alive, and she is wheeled into Polina's apartment as they are grieving. They are all surprised to see her. The grandmother blames the doctors for being incompetent, As soon as she stops talking, she drops to the floor. Emma argues that the story doesn't make sense like that, but Alex simply continues his narration. After the grandmother's demise, they discover there is no fortune. The lawyer reveals that while she was alive, she spent all the money to purchase expensive perfumes. This leaves all of them unhappy, especially Adam, who no longer has a place with Polina. He thinks about her getting married to John Sean, and as he keeps thinking, he cannot hold it again. He realizes he needs to take action before it's too late. He runs to Alora, who advises him to stop thinking about Polina, because she will never be his. Emma is once again confused about the character Alora, because Alex keeps changing au pairs in his story. She reminds him they have just 3 days to the end of the novel. Alex is aware, but feels there is no major obstacle blocking Adam still, but Emma disagrees. All of a sudden he gets an idea, and decides to change the concluding part of the story. Now the obstacle will be forming the third triangle. The au pair will be an American lady whose name is Anna. So, back to the story. Knowing he doesn't have a place with Polina, Adam walks in on Anna the au pair while cooking in the kitchen. She greets him with a warm smile, and he compliments her, and all his expressions show he is getting attracted to her. Emma becomes confused. She isn't sure if Alex knows how the story will end. In the story, Adam asks if Anna can go out with him. She almost rejects it, but is convinced by Adam. She stops cooking and follows him. While in the town, he begins to ask her several questions, and ends up knowing she is not happy staying with the Delacroixes. He asks that she date him, with a kiss on her lips. Emma thinks Adam doesn't love her and is just on a rebound. But to Alex, he has been so blinded by Polina's love that he didn't see the love Anna had for him. Alex continues his narration, and Adam has fallen deep in love with Anna. Emma is happy about this, but Alex shocks her with the concluding part, which is that Sean comes to see the excited Adam. He breaks the news of him proposing to Polina, and by the weekend, they will be off to get married in Paris. Adam becomes less excited immediately. It is then that he realizes that he is still in love with Polina. Adam begins to think of who to choose, between Polina and Anna. He is now in a dilemma, and in the end, he chooses Polina. Emma once again is disappointed at the choice of the character, just as Alex wants. Alex continues his narration. While Adam is staying with the Delacroixes, he has made friends already, and, still thinking he can win Polina's heart, he goes to his friends and borrows money. He even dances to prove he is a real man. The agreement is, if he can't pay back with an interest of 200%, he will be murdered out of desperation. Adam takes the money down to the casino, thinking he will win. But he loses all the money, and also loses Polina's heart. Emma becomes angry. She doesn't want Anna to accept him back. While she is discussing that with Alex, the Mafia enter his room and break his television. They inform him of the 24-hour deadline, which must not pass a minute, and he promises that he will give them the money once he is done. Emma is terrified and advises him to call the police, but he refuses. Suddenly, Emma begins to relate the Mafia to the same in the novel. She asks if the other characters are real too, but he denies it. They continue, and as they start, Alex starts dozing off. They agree to sleep for 2 hours. He wants to sleep on the couch and asks her to sleep on the bed, but she disagrees, suggesting that they sleep on the bed together. While on the bed, he begins to question her love life and whether she indeed has a boyfriend. Then she reveals she lied about having a boyfriend or a fiancé. They get intimate on the bed, since they are both single, and start kissing. It's morning already, and the two, on the bed continue their writing. Adam continues walking the street as he realizes he has lost it all, both his money and Polina. He meets Polina in her bathtub to explain his predicament to her, and promises to win her back, but she is not interested in him anymore. It is a sad end for him as he watches Polina and her family move to Paris. He is taught a lesson to know his class. There are some things you cannot reach or get, no matter how much you try. He goes back to Anna and knocks on her door, thinking she will accept him back, but she rejects him. Another heartbreak, and it all ends in a bittersweet ending. Emma asks him if the character Polina exists, but he denies it, and she takes her leave. While in front of his house, she smiles at herself and calls for a taxi. A taxi stops in front of her, and a lady comes down and looks at Alex's house. She tries to link the woman to Polina, but takes the thought off her mind when the woman goes to sit in front of a restaurant across from Alex's house, and her taxi zooms off. Alex comes out of his house, moves straight to the restaurant, and sits on a chair in front of the lady. It turns out Polina is real, and Alex is a staunch liar. Polina speaks about how she was stupid for leaving him. She explains that she broke up with John already, and is hoping she can get back with Alex. Meanwhile, Emma has finished typing up the novel. She picks up her stuff in a hurry and heads back to Alex's house. When she gets there, she knocks on his door and realizes he is not inside. On her way out, she sees him across the road with the lady. In anger, she drops the novel on his table. Alex is surprised to see her, and he introduces her to Polina as his stenographer. This gets her angry and she leaves. Alex follows her, apologizing, but she refuses to listen with tears in her eyes. She sternly warns him never to call him again. He goes back to Polina, and she guesses Emma is more than a stenographer. He confirms that, but also professes she is no longer in his life. Polina urges him to follow her to Paris, but Alex refuses. The next day, Alex goes to his publisher and collects his check. He calls Emma about the check and offers to bring it to her house, but she tells him to send it and not bother coming. To make things right, he claims the story didn't end well, and he would like to end it the way it's supposed to. She is the only one that can help him. Still, she refuses to help him, because she doesn't want to be involved in the story anymore. Not giving up, he goes to the front of her house and calls her, but she refuses to pick up. He decides to wait for her. When she comes out the next morning, he is still there. But all his pleas fall on deaf ears. She doesn't want to see him anymore. But Alex still isn't ready to give up. In the next scene, he engineers a meeting with Emma at the office and pleads with her to help him finish the novel he is writing. Eventually, he gets her to agree. He starts dictating and keeps talking about Polina, who is the cause of his trouble. Emma can't take it anymore and wants to take her leave, but Alex begs her to stay, and once he is done with the story, she is free to leave. Then she sits down as he continues the story, that even though Polina comes back to Adam, his heart is with Anna, because Anna is his true love. Emma is stunned at the end of the story. Alex confesses he wants only her and no one else. He needs her in ways he can't explain. The connection between them becomes passionate as they kiss their newfound love. Unlike Polina, Emma showed up and made things better for Alex. She is his good luck charm.